All righty, time for another edition of Science Sunday. Of course, joined by Aoife Ryle of the Connecticut Science Center.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. And you know what? This is a big day in Connecticut. It's final round play of the Travelers Championship at the TPC River Highlands in Cromwell. So given that golf is so sciencey, right? I mean, physics and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Why
not do a golf-themed Science Sunday?
Yeah, and you're right. There's so much physics in golf, which is amazing. And I actually want to talk about something a little bit different today.
Okay.
We're going to talk about some of the equipment standards in golf. And so the USGA puts standards on all of its equipment, like golf clubs, to make sure that the focus is on the talent of the players and not just on how, inventive we can make these pieces of technology.
Because with science and technology, you can maybe really sway things in one direction or another. So it is important to have that standard so that everyone kind of has an equal playing field.
Absolutely, yeah. So one thing that the USGA keeps standard is the volume of the club head, so this part up here.
Okay.
And it's kind of a weird shape. So measuring the volume by doing the typical length times width times depth is really difficult. So the way that they actually measure it is something that was discovered about 250 BC by a guy called Archimedes. You might have heard of him. Remember that guy? And so he found that when you put an object in water, it displaces that water by its volume. So it's going to displace an equal amount of water.
All right.
So I'm going to stick this into the water. And again, this is how the USGA does it in their equipment standards labs. And you can see on our scale, we have a mass readout. Do you mind telling me the readout there?
We're up to 269.
269 grams?
Yes.
Cool. So the really nice thing about using water is our volume is our mass over density.
Okay.
And because the density of water is 1 gram per cubic centimeter, that number, that 269, is our volume. So this has a club head of 269 cubic centimeters, which is under the required 460. So this is regulation. I'm
glad it is regulation, club, because if it weren't, then that would be a problem for whatever the manufacturer is here, for Spalding. So.
Well done, Spalding.
Yeah.
So another thing we keep standard is the flexibility of the club face here.
Okay.
So the more flexible a club face is, the more energy it can store and then transfer into the ball. So I actually had one of my coworkers drive a ball for me, and you can see the compression of that golf ball as it flies off.
Look at that form. That's great.
Isn't that great? Yeah.
It's really good.
She's gotten real good.
Yes.
So the more flexible this is, the further and the faster a ball will go. So we keep how flexible the club head can be standard as well.
And so how is that tested or measured?
Yeah, so we measure that. Do you mind holding that there for me? They take a steel ball, and they do it on a hammer, not on a string, but we're going to do it
improvising.
Our way. Yeah. And so they swing this on a pendulum at the club face, and they measure everything. They measure the acceleration of the steel ball into the club face, how long it spends at that club face, and how quickly it bounces back.
All right.
And they keep that flexibility standard too.
All right.
Yeah, so we're focused again on the talent of these incredible players.
And obviously every bag of clubs has the irons, the woods, the wedges with regard to the angles. I mean, again, science is everywhere. Yeah. And even speaking to like a golf ball, if it travels farther on a hot, humid day versus a cooler, drier day. And I think a lot of people have that reverse. It's actually on the hot, humid day that the ball can travel farther due to the density of the air.
Right,
right. All right, so science is everywhere. We could go on for a half hour, if not longer.
We probably will.
But we do want to tell you about something happening at the Science Center, Mess Fest.
Yes, next weekend we have Mess Fest. So jump online, grab some tickets. We are doing everything messy all day, both those days, inside and outside. We've got a slime playground, we've got a bubble dance party, we've got so much stuff. It
Sounds
should be really
awesome.
Fun.
All right, so Mess Fest next weekend. So Aoife, thank you so much. And of course, we'll see you for another edition of Science Sunday next weekend.